Peace, world. How you doing? Hope all is well. It's your brother Mikey Fever, NYP Talk Show. On this beautiful Wednesday, we got our brother, the legend himself, who's been involved in this community for a long time. We got him back on here, Nakiim Bey. Welcome, my brother.
Oh, brother, greetings to you, brother. Greetings to you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. So tonight, for those listening and those watching, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. We got super chats, and tonight topic will be financial literacy for Black people. Nakeem Bey, how you feeling?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for asking. And you?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a slight distortion, but I can hear you.
How about now? You hear me? Am I
Yeah, I
clear?
can hear you now. Yeah, you
All
much
right, good.
much clear, much clear, brother.
All right, all
Happy,
right.
happy, happy to have you on here. So this is the great topic tonight. So we talking about financial literacy for our people. I'm gonna hit you with the first question, my brother. We'll get right into it. Um, how has historical denial of access to banking and credit shaped financial literacy in the Black community today?
Mm. I will say that it has discouraged many African American um, descendants here in the U.S. with redlining. You know,
Yeah,
that was a scheme primarily with the banking system to deprive the properties by issuing faulty mortgages to our people. That was a way of setting them back, you know. So it was a point of from that stage forward, the lack of confidence in the banking system, you know. That's number one. Number two, loaning credit, right? You know,
yeah,
um, credit, technically speaking, is really illegal uh, because America is no longer backed by gold, right?
mm,
They have been bankrupt about four times, but the main one was 1933. You know,
yeah,
um, so they have no gold and they have no silver. So when you, as a property alleged owner, um, you go to the bank originally, right, and you would like to take out a loan, and they, have you sign a promissory note um, or credit. But you need collateral, something like substance, something that's solid to put up, right?
yeah.
So that they can leverage moving forward. You find out that you're primarily giving me a promissory note, a debt instrument, you know. And
Mm,
if America is trillions and trillions of fiat um, and debt, and
yeah,
you have no substance, nothing of weight to measure with, and then they give you a promissory note, you cannot discharge a debt with a debt, right?
mm. Yeah,
Right?
I heard about that.
Uh,
Yeah,
so it has no legitimate backing. So what I'm saying to you, to be clear, that um, it's fraud from the very beginning. So once people, our people, especially I guess, understands that system how it works, then they will understand why they are discouraged. You know, how come they lack the ability to access capital? You know, because of the money mindset, right? The psychology of money. You know, it has damaged them from the very beginning. Wanting to
mm,
work with the system, and they find later on it is not well to do so because it's always fraud, and because our people are not financially literate in many areas as such, right? They become
yeah.
victims of it.
Mm. So with that being said, the whole promissory is debt versus debt in the sense of you're the one. The average citizen is the promissory, and the bank is just basically just giving out debt, but saying it's a loan.
Yeah, I
So
like
basically,
that. Right, right, right. The average citizen is a commodity.
yeah.
They are an asset, let's say, for value on the market.
Hmm.
You know, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them don't understand their place, you know, in this political, economic, de facto system, especially now, right? So financial literacy, you must be able to unravel the flaws or the deception, you know, in order to really get into the meat for opportunity. You gotta know how to play the game, and definitely you'll be playing.
Yeah, that's a fact. That comes down to the whole money mechanics game and
Right, right,
everything.
right,
How,
right, right,
yeah.
right. And I'll give a point, right now. Many people thought that the governor, Lisa Cooks, you know, as the governor of the Federal Reserve Bank, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Um, 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 People probably thought that the Federal Reserve Bank was part of the government of the United States.
Yeah. It's
You
not.
know, right, right, right. It's an independent entity, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
I mean, people didn't really know that. So you have to know this here. Paul Warburg was commissioned by the Rothschild family at that time in history to come to the U.S. to establish a central bank.
Hmm. Yep.
Later on, they established the Federal Reserve Bank. But that
Didn't that take
final,
place in?
yes,
Sorry about that. The Federal Reserve. I know. Was it in Georgia or something like that? Jekyll Island, I believe.
exactly, on Jekyll Island, they rode the train to
Mm.
Jersey, Jekyll Island, and that was where they made a discussion from the central to a Federal Reserve Bank, privately owned.
That is wild.
Absolutely, the Federal Reserve Bank. You see,
Wow.
so people thought that you know that the Federal Reserve was part of the federal government, but it's totally independent. This is why, in essence, Trump don't have no jurisdiction over the Federal Reserve Bank.
Mm.
You see, so to remove her from office is not even constitutional because there's no constitutional clause anywhere in there that stipulates any type of jurisdiction or authority over Federal Reserve Bank. So now you think that Trump and his colleagues are trying
Hmm.
to find loopholes in the law, see how they can hang her. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So they can put her, their people, over the Federal Reserve Bank.
Over the Federals. I think that was proven as well. Like we knew about the whole Jekyll Island thing, but I remember during the COVID when they was giving the stimulus package, he was saying something to put his name on the checks, and they were like, "We can't do that." Something like that. There was a whole discrepancy about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now it's a matter of jurisdiction. Your face is going
Ah,
when you die. Your face is going as a president, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? But that's it. But see, remember, you just said we know what you said because you know the
yeah.
angle I'm coming from.
Of course.
Now, the people who's right now listening to this here Zoom, and they into Paul Wahlberg,
Hmm.
Federal Reserve Bank on Google, or maybe even in AI.
Yeah.
They meant to the meeting on Jekyll Island, right? Then they'll see what's happening. Or they inquire about the Federal Reserve Bank. But see, remember, those who are interested in the Federal Reserve Bank and issue of economics are those who are into poli sci slash economics.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
that's
saying?
that's what
So,
it comes
so,
down
so,
to.
I mean, I'm hoping it's not like going over anybody's head, but very important. So, we have to question about financial literacy. You got to know how it all started. The
Hmm.
greenbacks, the greenbacks. You got to know how it all started,
Yeah.
right? And then, other than putting money in the bank, you got to know how it moves. You know,
Yep.
how how it runs, how the bank use it, how the Federal Reserve Bank use it, how the banks use it, what the Federal Reserve Bank does for other banks.
Yeah.
But that's again on another level. What's very important is understanding the foundation of the history of the money
Got
when it
you.
was on the market and what happened when it went off the market, right?
Mm.
And how you should leverage opportunity at this time. And see, one of the financial literacy problems among the African Americans that they have no interest primarily in generational wealth.
Oh man, that's perfect. That's a perfect segue to the second question I have for you about that. That's so perfect. Generational wealth, and we're gonna get into that because I learned about that later on in the game, but I see the importance of it. What are the most common financial barriers faced by Black families when it comes to building generational wealth?
Well, number one, not being financially literate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Basics, right? Bad habits of spending, bad habits of not saving, bad habits
Yeah.
of not investing, bad habits of not looking to the future, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
looking to the future is looking at your children and your
That's true.
children's children, right? Even if you're going to establish a business, you must
Mm-hmm.
establish a business with the mind of passing it down to your children, to your family.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
Right?
Legacy. A
So,
legacy.
right, we think today, we think tomorrow. We don't think 20 years out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what's very important, my brother, we do not discuss money with our children.
That's so true. Growing up, we never had those conversations. It was just
No,
straight survival. Survival.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, we'll even discuss money with our other half.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Right? So we spend, we spend, we spend. The one common thing, you know, I even heard it recently, and this is old. This is old news. You have a couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the woman's gonna say, "Let's use your check, husband or king, or we want to call him,
Yeah.
right, for this, right, bank. We use mines. We're gonna pot yours so it can grow, right,
Yeah.
right, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
use my check to cover the overhead, right." But the mine is, I got what I got, and you got what you have, and we're gonna do us. We're not thinking that way,
That makes a lot of sense what you just said. That is so
right?
true.
So it starts with, looking in the future and budgeting and so forth. That's keeping account of your outputs and your inputs, you know,
Mm.
right? You know, but you have to start like right now, so don't try to impress, please anybody, start saving. You got to security. Every organization that I have been involved with has touched some way or another the discussion of economics, but actually striving towards it to achieve it with a plan and execution. We don't see that. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. No, that's so true. The generational wealth aspect is having disciplines, not trying to keep up with the Joneses. But we have to remember also the keeping up with the Joneses aspect is psychologically our people are stuck in a cycle of trying to buy back their self esteem, the inclusion with the exclusive things. A bit of classism is involved in that, and some people just want to reward themselves.
Right,
But in reality, it's like we want the latest and greatest to say like I have this, I have that, I'm on this echelon, and that's one aspect of it, and the lack of discipline with money. Because for instance, you can look at entertainers and such, or even guys in the streets. They will have the money coming in at a faster pace, and the first thing they do is get the latest, the car. It comes down to the car, the jewelry, but there's
right,
no investment. And then say something happens, either he goes to jail, no lawyer, or the latter of getting killed out there. There are GoFundMe pages, you know,
right, right,
to
right,
help
right,
bury them. And then it comes down to not investing properly in life insurance because our people do have a stigma when it comes to life insurance. They assume that, oh, you want the worst for me, and not understanding that's how other communities built their wealth.
right. And that's something that we can build on because, many people in this car right now don't have life insurance. I show you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and if they pass away, people have to get together and bring the money together to cover
Mm-hmm.
that person's burial.
Yeah.
that person's perception, or maybe just that person's ashes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or because
Yeah.
he or she chose not to be responsible for themselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the other thing in terms of their children. See, that's generational wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can get a whole life policy, a perm, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have been selling insurance for people since 2010, 2010.
Oh, that's deep. That's
And
good, man.
I do it every now and then. I never got rid of my license from New York State because I know that people is going to need it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you got one part, right? You get you know, $10,000 policy. That'll
Yeah.
take care of some basics, your ashes. You want to, you got a big family, you might need a good 50,000 to play it safe. But
Mm-hmm.
also, if you don't get whole life insurance, there go your wealth.
Yeah, that's true.
Because a whole life policy can be used to leverage property because it's collateral.
Mm.
You can use it for a loan, the cash value in it.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Very true.
You can borrow from it and put your children in school with it.
Yeah, you
You see what
can.
I'm saying? These are basics, right? Everyone now, if you have cash, $107,000 cash, really you don't need it.
Yeah.
However, I learned in finance. After you match your 401k,
Mm-hmm.
you go to annuity,
Mm.
right? I'm gonna say an index, right, or fixed, right, because it's more secure, right? It's cash, right?
Yeah.
You match your 401k, you match your annuity. Now you might want to get insurance policy. It's early, right? Whole life.
Yep.
You put a certain amount of money in that every month or every quarter or biannual or annual.
Yep. Yep.
Because you wanna maximize the opportunity of diversification of economic
Yep.
security,
That makes
right?
sense.
Right.
Yep.
So this is the aspect. I mean, stocks, bonds, real estate, that's definitely highly important. But first, do you have the basics
Mm-hmm.
like emergency fund? How many
Yeah.
people in this car can go in their account right now and pull out $5,000?
Mm.
Right? Not even that. I heard some people don't even have $500 in their account. Recently, I heard that. I'm like, wow, wow, yeah, really? Whoa, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we have to get the people start thinking financial literacy, stability, sustainability, future projection, generational wealth. You
Yeah.
know, and you gotta lock yourself in. I told a brother there on the call, Saturday actually, about an hour ago. I said, listen, man, for us to be successful, we have to not be around poverty.
Mm.
You cannot be around low vibrations, negative energy.
Exactly.
You cannot allow them to put certain thoughts in our heads. In order to succeed, we have to have a choice. And the choice is not to do the average thing, do the advanced thing to better ourselves.
That's the fact. I agree with that. I agree.
He is almost 67. I just turned 60. So we look back and we reflect. So, whoa, a lot of time well served. Now let's move forward. So the next 3 years, this is my plan. This is his math. So that's called short, mid, and long term goal. So on this call, what is your short term goal in this first year?
Mm.
What's your midterm goal? What is your long term goal? What are your assets? What are your liabilities? Does your liabilities supersede your assets?
Mm.
If so, red light. Do you have good debt and bad debt? Or just good debt? Right. So what is good debt? You got a
Mm.
mortgage, you can go into the equity, pull it, and leverage it. At some point, put it back.
Yep.
You got college loans, that's an investment for your family. You made an investment. I'm just talking about responsibility, accountability, and advancing yourself. To see, there are many organizations, but no org can build forward without finance.
That's a fact. Hold on right there. That is a total fact right there, what you just said. That is so true. That is so true right there.
Not
You can't.
only, not only, see, I heard a quote that only it takes finance to uplift a nation.
Hmm.
And I go back to the foundational knowledge. Before you
Hmm.
can uplift a nation, you gotta first uplift yourself, your family. When you can do better for yourself and your family, then you can make another step and try to help other people financially.
That's agreed. So being that we spoke about the family, which is your first foundational to build within yourself and organization, all right? I'm gonna go here, and this is not I'm gonna put this disclaimer out here for one. I'm not attacking religious institution, but this is a question. How can black churches, organizations, and leaders promote financial education within the community?
Teach it,
Teach it.
teach it. Invite. I'm not saying 'cause I'm here. I'm willing, no
Yeah.
problem at all, right? No
Hmm.
charge at all, right? Invite people like myself and others, you know, to come in and to educate the members of the congregation, the members of the
Yeah.
models
Hmm.
about budgeting, about investing in the basics,
Yeah.
you know, about multi streams of income, you know, um, cash flow, you know, habits, financial habits. You know, so much that involves. You know,
Mhm.
the value, the value of tire. You know, give you 10%. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where's it go and where should it go even more in your community, right? But I'm
Yep.
saying churches and mosques need people to come in and teach them the science of finance.
That is so true. We do
You know
need
what
to
I'm saying?
speak about that. That's so true.
You know,
Um, I
poverty
be
is
no,
poverty
go ahead.
is a pardon me, brother.
No, you're good.
Poverty is a incentive. It's not a sin. It is an incentive.
Mm,
Because when you fall, you're gonna get back up, right?
yeah.
When you can't pay your rent on time, your mortgage on time, or your bills on time, you can't feed the family, you feel not so good. Especially as a man, you feel worse. You got a
Mm-hmm.
woman, it's even worse,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's an
Yeah.
incentive to want to do and achieve better and more.
That's true. That's true. And that's that's a double edged sword right there because individually, yes, you gotta be stable. But I'm saying for our people that are in these dire conditions now, do you think group economics can help uplift the community if they had like some integrity behind it,
How
trust
you how my law kicking in? How would you define group economics?
within the family structure as a first line, the first defense line?
Family, yes, yes, yeah, family first. Yeah, family. All the issue of trust and so forth is moral lessons. You know, is this person trustworthy? You know, has a moral compass. You know,
Yeah.
right? You know, do you have any bad habits? You know, weed, drinking habits. You know, is his or her word their bond? Are they consistent? You know, are they responsible? You know, I cannot give you $500,000 if you can't handle $250,000. You know what I'm saying, right? You know,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that?
Good. We have a comment from Noke. Peace, Noke. Peace Awareness Dailies. It says financial literacy should begin with definitions on the basics. Finance and economics are interrelated fields, but they focus on different aspects.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, it's correct. When you learn finance, right, you have definitions. What I mean, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
every term. You know, because you got to know the language. Finance is a language, but the basics. Y'all always
Mm-hmm.
say save money. You know what I mean? Right? Budget. These are basics, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you start going into investing, absolutely, you gotta look up every what's a stock. What I'm saying? What is a chip? You know what I mean? What's a high yield? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What's a bear? What's a bull? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're getting heavy, right? As we know, what are hard assets? Retirement vehicle. That's what it is. Right now, you don't need it. What is credit? You know what I mean? Right? So
Yeah.
no, he's correct. You must learn the language of finance. You know,
All right.
I took two courses of economics, right? But that's the world how it operates. But I did a course also with Columbia University, right? And it
Yeah.
was called Economics and Currency. Think about it, you don't find two people taking that course, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
economics and currency, how does that mix? Right?
Yeah.
You know, and what he said, the professor, this is online too, years ago, um, is being able to know the language.
Mm.
Know the language. One time I was on the train, the two train, and I was reading a book called The Federal Reserve by Congressman McFadden, right?
Mm.
He was, I think, like a laborer, right? He was a super whatever in the bank. Later on, he became the chairman of the committee, of the Ways and Means Committee at the Federal Reserve Bank, right?
Yeah.
And I was reading this book. This one Casey man said to me, "You reading that book?" You know, and I was like, "I guess, right?" And the point I'm making is, many communities wouldn't expect for people, especially African descendants, to
To
read
read
certain
those.
materials. I have
Exactly.
in there. I have in my library. Actually, I can go right to it. Right, it's my major treasure. Right,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
you know, I go right here. I have here the whole entire Federal Reserve breakdown. Here it says three facts should outlaw banking. We shall we shall nobly save or meanly lose their last bet hope of earth. Abraham Lincoln. The title is the whole story of the creation of the new bank deposit money. The following
Mm.
quotation is lifted from the 1939 edition of the Federal Reserve System, its purpose and function. And then it goes on. They don't expect us to have materials like that. Right? I
Exactly.
had that back in the 80s. You see?
Mm-hmm. That's what somebody
Um,
said. Noak said that the agenda for for new economy from phantom wealth to real wealth by David C. Corton of Club of Rome.
excellent, 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 excellent. I
We
mean,
see you, Noak.
yeah, 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 no doubt. Now, hey, I'm very glad. I'm a very young person. A lot of my old years, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad that he is driving that path. We need to. We're so much into understanding now. We need not black power, black economics. Black economics bring forth black power. Black
Hmm.
power is not the fist up. Black power
Yeah,
is self sustainability, right?
exactly.
And if you're not aware, um, there's an economic summit coming up at the UN.
Hmm. Yeah,
Are
so it's
you
around
aware?
this time of year.
Right. So the
Yeah.
21st and 22nd economic summit um, is happening. Economic summit. And these are world leaders
Yep.
from Africa and other places. not
Mm-hmm.
Europeans, Caucasians, right? The Africans, and they're coming together to do business with one another. To
Mm-hmm.
find ways and means how they can build their economic capital. Now,
Exactly.
what I'll share with you, with that, I'm instrumental. I'm the architect of setting them up at the Yale Club in
It's
New York
beautiful.
on 22nd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was at the Harvard Club and I met a sister from the Harvard Club. Excuse me, I was at the Harvard Business School and
Mm-hmm.
in May, and I saw a sister there from the UN, and she was involved, in the summit, one of the key players. She asked
Yeah.
me if I could help her set it up, right? So the grand ballroom, the lodging, transportation, you know, contract negotiation, all that I have done. But the point I'm making is coming up this month. The point I'm making, these are Africans from all over coming,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to top leaders are coming to the UN General Assembly time and the Yale Club.
Wow.
I invited the president of Wanted Black Men. I invited the director of Wanted Black Men. And I invited um, the person in charge of business contracts on the Eric Eric Adams. Why did I, why did I invite them? I invited those three because they can bring in business to the African American community.
Mm-hmm.
The Africans, they want to do business with us. You see what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
So we need to know how to deal with trade. We need to know how to invest, what to invest. You know what I'm saying? We need to know the history so that we
Yeah.
can deal with the people overseas. So I want to share that, because the brother mentioned about, real wealth, right?
Yeah.
Real wealth. You know, we have to go beyond the corner location. We got to extend ourselves internationally. And we were always a international people because we're
Yeah.
so boxed in our communities. We're very limited, and we can see and have visions for.
That's very true. That is very true. Because when it comes to commerce, and this one day I was in the shower, just taking a shower. I was like, in the shower, taking like the day off of me, and I was just thinking, and I was like, the economic, the clock for commerce doesn't stop because while we here, as it rotates around, the sun is orbiting, the earth is orbiting the sun whatsoever, money's being made. So while we here sleeping, the other side of the world, they're still doing commerce, and we're still doing commerce on our time as well. So it's like this
Right,
currency thing keeps going. So commerce waits for no man, and it's many rules to it than just getting money. There's a lot of science behind it. Like not only the thinking, the plan, but there's more to it. When you in the the big dogs feel. Now you gotta know about regulations and stuff like that, and
right,
different loopholes and laws. So
right, right,
and it's crazy how you said that. Like you invite these individuals to come into this meeting because you say we're so boxed in into our corner of just being black, 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 black power. Sounds great, but the only power within this society that's respected is the dollars, the
yeah,
numbers.
yes. But two things. Well, see, the two things I want to say on top of two things, right?
Hmm.
We must get our priorities together.
Hmm. Um, all right, let's leave this right here. You may continue.
This is great. No. I had to stop. Forbes list billionaires includes quite a few Nigerians who build
Hmm.
millions of dollar mansions in their home villages, yet rarely use them. Biafra taught them to have a home base because of politics. Yeah, but the new, you're right, brother. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when Robert Smith, one of the top billionaires, also my frat brother, I got to say this here as well. He's the
Hmm.
one that gave the Morehouse um, um, undergrads the money to discharge all their debt a few years
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
right? You know, one of my dear brothers from childhood, school, high school, he sent me the Forbes magazine with Robert Smith on on the front, you know, front line. And you're right, Nigerian country has a lot of oil, very very rich,
Mm-hmm.
very rich. And that's the point. I love what he's doing, the brother here at Nuke, because you have to read these things. You have to you have to be around it. You
Yeah.
got to read it. You got to see. If you don't see it, you can't reach it.
Mm. Very deep.
It got to be in your mind, and then you got to aim towards it. What is your priority? Drinking, smoking, car
Mm.
racing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She got a big whatever,
Yeah.
pretty face, whatever. Or is
Mm-hmm.
it first self, which is family, right?
Self-preservation. Yep.
Right, right, right. So yeah, and that's the reach. Do you want a mansion? You have no idea what a mansion it look like, but what you read. You want a nice vehicle? Or get that cushion of cash, so you can have all
Mm.
that before you. Let it be so your wife, or in this case, I reverse it.
Yeah.
Your man needs something, another question mark. You don't want to go out to dinner, and the entree is like $50, maybe $60, give or take, right? And you're like, why she order? Right? You don't want to be like that,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
so so stop scrapping, as they say, right? You know, and focus on this here. You know what I'm saying? Focus on economics. And that's the economy.
Yep.
That's your family. How many men and women of all hue, dark hue, right, don't really want to be on top of their game?
I
You know
believe.
what
I
I'm saying?
believe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
You see what
believe
I'm saying?
all want to.
I mean, look, I literally took a course to learn financial planning because I didn't have another finance.
Mm.
And then later on, I got a license in New York City, New York State. Well, I knew
Yeah.
about all insurance policies and retirement, certain annuities. And then you had different advisors with a Series 6 and a Series 7. 6 is not stock, but 7 is stocks, right? But
Mm-hmm.
6 is still securities. They come in the room, doing the money, the money training. So you're hearing about other investments. So it's called cross selling. You know,
Mm-hmm.
newbie's realtor. You know, people. You're Series 7. I get
Mm.
retirement. So let's sell to Nuke's family, cross sell. What do you need? I don't have it. He have it for you. He have it. We don't come
Mm.
together and make your family whole again,
That's
advance your
beautiful.
whole again. And then we're gonna have our annual reviews, or quarterly reviews, or biannual reviews to see where you are in your life. And do you know anything else that I can do and we can do to make your life better? See, we're not thinking like that. I
That's
can
true.
read, but many of us are not on that page. You see,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why many women might go to the other man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or just another man like us, because they can provide more. But
Security.
we're busy chasing, how Grand Football said, chasing skin over time, chasing skin over time. That ain't right. You want a rapper, right?
Yeah.
No, no, no. You know what I mean, right? So we got to prioritize. The woman's gonna want the man that surely is a man and be responsible for his foundation. And no doubt, the man want a woman that can deal with a very similar equality like himself. He don't want no beggar, and she don't want no beggar. But it's
Yeah.
great when they both can go to the table together and say, "Hey, I got it this time. I got it this time. No, I got it this time. I got it. I'm this
Yeah.
simple, right?
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
And these are basics. But now you're teaching your children from childhood. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you, you know, And also, don't forget about legal protection, because believe it or not, in my financial material, there's a chapter. It's called legal protection. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wow. So you achieve your financial goals, but how do you keep
Yeah, that's true. It's easy. If you can obtain it, how can you maintain it? That's the
it? Like,
so it's perfectly what you said, right? Before closing out with that one, you said a lot about coming together, right? And the question I want to ask is um what is the importance of understanding tax laws and benefits for wealth preservation?
that's listen. People who make money, they don't want to make money to give it away. They want to save as much as they can save. I knew I know a brother from childhood. He dealt
Hmm.
with a certain ideology of not paying taxes like other people on the federal and state level.
Wow.
But he decided not to. No, he decided to pay taxes on the state because he said, "I ride down those roads,
Okay.
right?"
Hmm.
But then he found tax breaks. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? Right?
Hmm.
Tax breaks. There's so many benefits that you can get. Now I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna fast forward it. I still remember in my financial planning material, it says you can file non-dependents in January,
Yep.
and then when June come, you file zero. Why is that? Because you are saying to IRS, no, 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 not this time.
Hmm.
You hold off. You're going to pay me, and then in June, I'm going to file zero and pay you back.
Yep.
You see what I'm
It
saying?
it balances it out.
Exactly. You can put down non-dependence. You're not lying. You put down non-dependence. That's financially correct.
Hmm.
Now, in 6 months, I hope you ain't claiming non-dependence because you want to rent a bunch of cars, hang out with your buddies. It's like when you get a raise in your job, right? You
Hmm.
take that surplus that you didn't see before, you bank it, you invest it. You didn't see it before, and your salary, six figures plus, you never had a problem. It covers all your overhead expenses and your good
Hmm.
times. You see what I'm saying? So the
Yep.
point I'm making is that you want to pay less taxes legally and lawfully,
Hmm.
right? You want to see what, you know, ask your tax preparer, you know, tax professional or your attorney who's a tax, right? Or a
Hmm.
person with a master's degree, right? In taxes, you know, what can I write off? And you're allotted probably like 2,000 some dollars for that term. You know what I'm saying? Well, I drove my vehicle, the miles on my vehicle, meaning your car, right?
Hmm.
It's partially a commercial vehicle. Oh well, you
Hmm.
know what? I also have a business at my house, so it's a home business, right?
Hmm.
Oh, I'm flying away for business. I'm meeting and having dinner for business.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You know, so you want to see where all the breaks. I got a meeting right now with dinner, right? That's some
Hmm.
tickets. I think give it away. Yeah, I'm going too, right? But tickets away. It's all write off. You
I
see,
got you.
right?
Hmm.
So I'm saying it's important, brother, to leverage the tax um, um, exempt demonstration legally and lawfully to save on your dollars. But what you save is not to be spent um, just outwardly. It's to be invested. You
I
know,
got you.
time and compound. They say in finance are the best friends, right?
Hmm.
Right? Time and compound. You know,
Uh,
my compound you can take. For my time, I never get back. If I want my time and my compound, my two friends.
that's a fact. Everything you're saying is a fact, man. This is why you're honored and respected for this, for real. I have another one for you. What strategies can be used to protect Black wealth from economic downturns and inflation? We did the taxes, so what are
I
if you
mean,
can't remember?
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because you're saying black wealth, right? You
Yeah,
know, um,
for
first of
the
all,
no, for the
no, no,
common,
no,
for,
no, don't mind me. Not because
yeah,
the word black is being used, right? African
yeah,
descendant, nobody want to call it, right?
hmm,
But one key: watch the Jews, our cousins.
hmm,
Watch the Irish. Watch the Polish. Even watch the community of the Chinese, and watch some of the African communities, and look at the African American communities.
mm,
So the point I'm making: keep your money circulated within your community.
that's a fact.
That's number one. Invest in your own. That's number two. Number three, family. Invest in your family. That's
Hmm,
your what is called black family, African American descendant family.
hmm,
Invest. Y'all invest together. Take some of that
hmm.
portion of funds and invest there, invest there. Y'all do that together, brother. Right?
That makes
And
sense.
don't,
Yep,
and don't tell your business. Don't talk your business. Another thing, and don't show your business. Don't bling bling. Just do business.
that's it.
You understand?
That's very.
Right? So if you want to protect black wealth, it's called black wealth, you got to do it economics. Black
Hmm,
economics. You know what I'm saying? Money gives you options. It gives you influence. It's a tool. You know
hmm.
what I'm saying? It's a tool, right? Keep that power within. Don't be fast to give money to the other man.
Hmm.
Learn from those who are successful.
Exactly. Like-minded individuals. Yes, it's important. Like you said,
Absolutely,
if you
absolutely,
stay in
absolutely.
poverty, you be in poverty around high vibrational people.
It's like an ABC. If they ain't A like you, they don't be like you. It mean they can't see like you.
Ooh, let me put that. Let me give you. Ugh, that is so true. That's so true. That's so
Yeah,
true. What you said.
yeah.
And someone I say, while all CPAs are accountants, not all accountants are CPAs. CPAs have additional education, licensing, and can perform more complex financial tasks.
Right. And he is 100% correct. And one great thing you have here, you have accountability
Mm-hmm.
because he is licensed by the state. He got to do it, or she got to do it compliance, like
Yeah.
attorney,
Yeah.
like the attorney, right? The
Mm-hmm.
attorney. We have to come. I mean, I'm licensed in New York, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I had to take out $1 million insurance on myself.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called errors and omissions, right?
Okay.
Right? And so because of that, you know, I do have accountable. So I'm more cautious, right? Anybody can count numbers,
Mm-hmm.
bookkeeping, right? But you want to hire the one who was best qualified for the job. But
Of
also, you
course.
can be licensed and shady as well. I'm saying shady, right? You know what I mean? So look
Mm-hmm.
at the history of the person, the background. You know?
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. This brother Noak is he's really throwing it out there. He said financial management comply with regulation, maximize value, and efficient use of resources,
Yeah.
which makes
I think Nuke is a license or something.
yeah. I think he's looking for a license, man. I think
No. There you got one, man. He's sharp. I feel it. I mean, I love, very intelligent brothers and sisters, man, that understands the value of finance. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Because it's very
go
important.
ahead.
It's
No,
key.
it is very important. It is because I'm like listening to this. I'm like, wow.
You know what I'm
And
saying? Yeah.
I see it like over the weekend. I seen like the festivities in Brooklyn with the parade and everything. And I might be a hypocrite about it. I was out there. I checked it out. But I was saying just to have fun. the amount of money we spend, like yes, there's gonna be vendors out there, you're gonna shop from different cultures and such, but to consume alcohol and everything else, we have to go to them who's like the establishment is not owned by your people, it's owned by a Korean or Italian whatsoever that's selling the liquor. To have the fun, you gotta go to them. To get the tobacco you want, you gotta go to them. But it's like not that many stores owned by you, other than the vendors that are outside that still had to go out there and purchase a vendor license to sell food out there. So it's
Right.
like, wow.
Well, it's the families. It's for the African American families to look at that,
Hmm. Yes,
and then
Stephanie Gordon from the Clock
yes,
of Destiny.
yes, um,
Oh my God, he's a Freemason. Yeah.
absolutely, 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 yes.
Ah,
Absolutely.
sound like a watch that Mason. Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody
Um,
looking for attention.
no, no, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, the main key here is not who you are, but what you're doing with the knowledge that you have and how you are advancing and improving others.
Hmm.
I mean, right? Because Egyptian nations built
Hmm.
pyramids and built financial empires,
Yep.
right? You know,
Hmm.
so we can't get it into see that is what that is what we got to look out for, right?
Hmm.
The ideology of conflict compared to being successful, right? You know,
Definitely. Definitely.
you know. Um, but yes, so that was fine because you have those who have beliefs, have doctrines, have these
Of
things.
course.
That's
Of
why
course.
earlier when I said on the call I made to Ron, I don't want to deal with that topic and that topic
Hmm.
because it comes from that type of ideology.
Yeah. Some people are just very stuck and they been matriculated, indoctrinated, and all that extra stuff.
Right, right. And that will
You know
always
what's
stunt our growth, our development, or advancement. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and
Because it's
stigmas.
important. You say?
So they have foolish stigmas.
Right. But again, we don't want to dwell on that, and that's where I talked about earlier, vibration and so forth. Right?
Exactly.
Even what she just said, why watch me? Everything I just shared was positive and progressive. And if you look at the materials that I confirmed and Luke even added on, you'll see
Hmm.
it has significance for anybody advancement. Not to somebody of color, but really anybody. But my focus is
Exactly.
self first before others.
Yeah,
Okay?
and that's why they up out of here. We don't give them time. We
Right,
can't
right, right,
function. We can't function with these people. It's about what we're doing is real. And
right.
before we get out of here, I'm asking one last question, right?
Sure, brother.
And this is something I see very much in our communities on billboards. How do payday loans and predatory lending disappropri- ah,
Okay.
disproportionately affect black neighborhoods?
So again, how does
Payday loans and predatory lending.
well see use well that was the very beginning of our question and
Hmm.
and answer. It sets us back. And the
Yep.
trust factor is in question, right? You know?
Hmm.
So you know, you go in there with a fine pen, you know?
Hmm. I'm sorry about this person. We'll talk about that, but let him answer that question.
Right.
Though. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because I get distracted.
Predatorial.
So
Yeah.
you're right. So that's the same thing with the mortgages,
Hmm.
right? The bank loans, right? These banksters, right? Like gangsters. These banksters sat down and conspired on how to set the middle class and the black aristocrat people back. Because see, we were black
Mm.
aristocrats. You go back to the 18th century, right? So don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. Set it up on banking, set it up on loans, and definitely fraud, right?
Hmm.
And then you'll know should you or should you not make this move. As much information out there regarding it, but you
Yeah.
should not go there for sure. Remember the history.
Yeah. They are banksters because I heard horror stories. I seen them. Like they are mostly situated in these inner cities, and they put people through hell. like
Right,
like
right.
you will lose everything, and it's like they use all kind of different measures to get they pay back from you. So with
So
all
what was
that
the
being
book
said,
saying? Yes.
I want to say thank you, man. Thank you for
We'll
that.
get
And
it.
one more.
No problem.
Someone is asking the question like this. They say mortgage equals debt pledge. I heard that.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah. You
true?
know what earlier. Promissory note,
Yeah.
right? Right. You're giving up collateral. They're giving up nothing for the less credit, right?
Yeah.
Right. So technically speaking, it is illegal, right?
Mm.
That's why you do the all rights reserved, right? So you can challenge it later on in the future if you wish to, right? So you know it. Oftentimes you cannot get the loan, the mortgage, right? Same thing, right? Without entering it. So there is some serious findings, research, and challenge, but it's on a bigger scale. And as an individual, hard for you and I to do it as an individual, you know. But you're
Wow.
right, mortgage eat the dead pledge, right? The dead pledge is a dead it's fraud, you know. But that is something later on I can deal with.
Definitely. You gotta come back up here. You gotta come back up with a part two of this to get more into the matrix of this, the mechanics of it, and
Yeah.
whatever you could disclose, we will appreciate because we need people like you in the community, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
To guide the brothers to give us light on that, man. Give our community that proper light. With that being said, listeners and viewers, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Give it up for Brother Nakiim Bey for coming out here, for doing his work, for giving us so much information. I want to say I respect you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
May you
Appreciate it.
travel
Same
in
here.
peace, and we appreciate you for all that you have done, man.
Thank you, brother.
Gotta come
All right.
back for part two.
Sure,
And
bro.
for
No
the
problem, brother.
listeners
Yes.
and the viewers, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Look Nakeem Bey up online. This is the guy you go to for financial advisory, information, and he will lead you straight. With that being said, NYP family, we out.
Thank you,
Peace.
brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anytime, brother.